today what we are going to do, we are going to see what is VBScript and how VBScript works, right? So those basic things we are going to see today. So I'm going to launch, we are going to work with QTP tool in order to learn VBScript. Okay, so how do we launch QTP? Go to Start, Programs, you will see Quick Test Professional. In that, go to Quick Test Professional, this one. Okay, this is what you call add-in manager. Now, add-in manager is very important. When you start, you have to tell QTP what are the add-ins that is required for you to, what are the add-ins that is required for your application. Say example, web. Web means all the HTTP, HTML protocol it accepts, as well as all the websites are designed on those protocols, so it accepts that. VBScript is VBScript applications, that is Windows based application that is developed in VBScript. It will be able to understand that. ActiveX controls. ActiveX controls are like, what do you say, how do you say that? It's again a VBScript portion which we use in the forms. I will show you what is ActiveX. Now these are the some of the add-ons. Now if you want more add-ons, how do you add them? Do not do that. We have license only for 3. But let me show you if in case you are working in a company and they want you to add a separate add-in into this particular manager. I will show you how to do that. Go to Tools. No, sorry. Start Program. Go to Control Panel. In Control Panel, go to Add Remove Programs. Okay, in Add Remove Programs, go to Quick Test Professional. Here. No, this. Quick Test Professional. Click on Change. Now you get this window. Wait for the next screen to come up. Just give it a minute. It has to load. Okay. Click Next. Click on Modify. Here, you see the add-ins. Say you wanted to add a Java add-in. Select this and say install entire feature on your local hard drive. It will install the entire feature. Go to the next. And then once you finish that and come back here and relaunch QTP, you will have the add-in manager here. You will have the Java add-in manager. you'll have the Java add-in manager. Since we don't have license, I don't want to install anything further. So, but most of the tools or most of the websites that we are using will be covered in these three. Okay. Now, the next step that you're going to do is click on OK, which will launch QTP. Now, this is the first screen that QTP pops up with. Okay, here you have multiple the previously used files, all those previously used scripts, all those pop up here. Now, what we are going to do here is we are going to go to New. Under New, we have Test, Business Components, Script Component, Application Area, and Functional Library. In our session, we are going to see Test and Function Library. These are the two things that we are going to see. These are the two things that you will be working on a day-to-day basis. So let's click on Test. Now you will get a window like this. Okay, there are two views, Keyword View and Expert View. Okay, Keyword View, we have a separate session for this. I will explain to you when we come into Keyword View. Now we will be working on the Expert View. When we are learning VBScripts, we will be working on the Expert View. Okay, now when you launch, you will get the screen like this. Now I want you to go to View, Enable Debug Viewer, go to View, Enable Resources, Debug again View, Test Flow. I want you to enable these things. Okay, so let me explain it again. Go to View, Debug Viewer, Resources, and Test Flow. These are the three things I want you to enable so that your window looks like this. Okay, now this is your resources view where you have multiple actions. We will talk about actions when we are doing more about in-depth about QTP. Debug view, we will be seeing debug view as we are working on our scripts. I will show you what is debug view. Debug view helps you to debug what type of variable you are assigning, what is the value you are assigning. All these things can be viewed during runtime in your debug viewer. Okay. Now, in last class, we saw how to write a simple message box with the message saying this is QTP training. Can anyone help me out to write the same message box? What is the function? Can anyone help me out with that? Yes?
Message box. MSG, hear me?
MSG box. Yes. Yes, go ahead. MSG box.
So it, QTP has to be, that is the display message, right?
Hmm.
So it's quick test professional dot MSG box dot quick test professional
Dot MSG box dot. No.
Yes.
It's not dot.
No.
No. Let's see. Preeti.
So MSG box, then space, then in double quotes you write your message.
That's it?
Yeah, then you go to file and save it.
Okay, that's okay. So I'm going to run it. How do I run this? I click on this run button. Run. Now it will show you which location you wanted to. Just leave it as a default location and click on run. Now the moment you hit run, you will go into, you see here, you will go into read-only mode. You see, you can't make any changes now. It's in read-only mode. And you can see it's running the script. You can see this at the bottom where my mouse is. It's popping up with a green highlight saying running. And here is your message box saying we are in QTP training. That is what we said. So when I click OK, the script stops because there is nothing in the second line. So it executed the first line and stopped. Any questions, guys, on this? Yeah.
Yeah, Rajesh. So yesterday we saw, or day before we saw that when you wrote "we are in QTP training" and then you did the save as, like Preeti was saying, it went through. Now the message box, is that just a separate way of doing that, or?
So that we did in Notepad.
Acha, okay.
Right now we are doing it in a tool.
I see.
So you don't need to, you can save the file to keep the file as a backup, but it's not necessary you need to save it because it's a tool, it can run on its own. You don't need to save and double click it.
Right. Okay, so that's only if we were to do it in Notepad, we wouldn't put the message box, correct?
Yes. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Any other questions? Fine. Now, let's see the next one. Now, the best practice when you write QTP scripts is to write what is this line about, or what is a group of code about, so that you can explain or you can understand it later. So how do you explain certain things for yourself and tell the script not to execute that? Say example, what is this? This is a message box. So I want to say this is a MESS message box. Now what will happen, you see this is showing in multiple colors. Now if I execute this, this line also will get executed. But you need to say that this is a comment and don't execute this line and skip it. How do you put a comment? In front of that line where you want a comment, put a single quote. You see this? Automatically this particular sentence that we wrote changed its color. So if I run this, what will happen? It will skip line 1 and go to line 2 automatically. Let's run this and see. You see, it skipped line 1. You see the arrow mark? The yellow arrow mark here? It skipped line 1 and went directly to line 2. So, guys, you are able to understand what I'm talking about? Comments? Yes.
Rajesh, at the comment line, the single quote is on only one side?
Only one.
Going to be on
yes,
one?
yes.
Okay.
So this means that this whole line that you write, now if you want to put it in the next line, you see here that that's not a comment.
Okay.
You got it? So you need to put every line as a comment. So you can either put a quote here, single quote here and make it line, or if you have, say example, multiple lines, right? You keep typing multiple lines, so many lines are there and you want to comment it. Select all and you see here this button, comment block. So the whole block gets commented.
Okay, but we don't have to end the comment, end the single quote.
No, there's no ending.
Only on one side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here in VBScript, I'm going to say that next in VBScript, every line, when you hit an enter, it means that's the end of that particular line. While in other languages, you might have to put a semicolon to indicate that that's the end of that line.
Right.
Here in VBScript, an enter marks the end of the line.
Okay.
Okay. So this particular message is treated as a single line. The next line will be executed separately. Getting me?
Okay. Yes, Rajesh. Thank you.
Any other questions? Fine. Next, so putting this comment is a best practice when we are writing code. So now when you're going to see that every time I write a code, I put a comment and explain what is there. So keep that as a practice. Tomorrow when you're writing your script in your company, during your automation testing, it would show that you are more experienced and you follow standards. Yes.
Writing code is not our work, right? This is the designer's
Then
part.
who's
Right?
the designer?
I mean, developer's part, right?
This is automation testing.
Okay.
So you got to write the code.
Okay. Okay.
Don't worry. As I told you, VBScript is the most simplest script available in the market.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And I'm teaching you from scratch.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So now this is how you write your message box. Next, what we are going to see is we are going to see what is a variable. What is a variable? Can anyone tell me what do you mean by a variable? Yep.
Whose value changes.
Yes. Values are dynamic. It can change, right? Value assigned can change, right? So that is mean a variable. So a variable means anything that you put it on the left side. So I can say example A. It's not necessary it has to be A. I can put say example Rajesh. Anything that is on the left side and I say equal to, and whatever I put on the right side is the value. So this becomes the variable and this becomes the value. Here is the variable on the left side and on the right side anything that you put is the value. So when you say equal to, this value gets assigned into this particular variable. So now say example if I say A equal to 10, that means the value of A is 10. A becomes the variable and 10 becomes the value. Now wherever I use A, this variable automatically gets replaced as 10 because this is what has been assigned to the variable. Guys, you are able to understand this? You are able to understand this? Any questions? Let's see how it works in practical. So I'm going to say A equal to 10. That means if I say MSG box, see this, at this point, when I wanted to print a string, just print a string, whatever I have written, I just want it to be printed in a message box right here. Then I put it in double quotes. But here, I want to print what is the value of this particular variable. In that time, I will not put it in a message in double quotes, because if I put double quotes, it's just going to be it's going to print me A. Let's see. If I just put double quotes, you see here, when I run this, first it printed me, we are in QTP training, fine. Then it took the value of A. But you see, it printed A because I put it in double quotes. Now, if I want to print the value of the variable, then I should not put it in double quotes. Now, let's see. Run. We are in QTP training, value of A. Now it printed the value of A instead of printing as A, because I did not put it in double quotes. That means it knows that this particular A is a variable, and what is the value assigned to that variable? The value assigned to that variable is 10. Now I want to run it in debug mode and see how it works. Let's run it in debug mode. Now what do you mean by debug mode? In debug mode, I can run line by line. So now till now what we did when we ran, it just ran from top and continuously ran next. But I want to execute it line by line. As long as I want to run, I want to run. I don't want the QTP to decide run all this, right? So what I will do, I will put a breakpoint here. So what will happen is, if you just click on this gray area, next to the line where you want the script to come and stop. Okay, so I wanted to stop here and execute line by line. So I'm going to hit run. Now you see it will come and stop there. See, it stopped. It's not executing that line. Yes.
How did you put the breakpoint?
Okay, let me show you that again. I'm going to stop the script.
Okay.
All I did is, give me a second. Where is this coming? All I did is, I brought my mouse here. At the moment I go into this gray area, it turns into an arrow mark. Okay, I want to stop in line number 3. So what I will do, between 3 double quote and the code, I will click. Okay. Single click. It will automatically create a circle with a dot with red. That means it's a breakpoint. The script will stop wherever this is.
Right before the quote.
Yes. Okay. Now if I click it again, it will go off.
Okay.
Got it? Okay. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit run. Now when I hit run, you see here, the yellow arrow is stopped here where we have put the breakpoint. It is stopped. It will not execute this line. It will come and stop at that line. Now if I want to execute this line, let's go into our debug viewer first. Let's go into our debug viewer. Here is the debug viewer. Nothing is there because it's just a message box. So no value there. Now I'm going to hit F11. So F11 in my keyboard is I have to press the function key and press F11. You see that line got executed. Click OK. It moved to the next line and stopped. Nothing happened here. You see here nothing is coming. I clicked on the variable. Nothing is there because this line is not executed. Function F11. You see the value of A is 10. Can you see this guys here where my mouse is? Value of A is 10. Now I will run this line of code. Value of A is 10. Fine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and put here value of A is equal to say 20. Right. And then I put a MSGBOX and value of A again. Let's run from here. Now I don't want to run, say I have 50 lines of code and every time I don't want to run from top. I want to run from say 5th line. Select the 5th line. Okay. Now when I hit run, it will run from here to the bottom. So I want to stop it when I want to stop it here. Okay. And then go line by line. So I'll select this line, right click on this line, and I'll say run from step. Okay. So it executed line number 5. So the value of A is 10. I'm going to rerun this again. F11. That's the value of A. Now you see here, A, I'm reassigning this value of A as 20. Now see the value of 10 changing. You see, the value of A is now 20. Now let me read on this. You see here, the value of A is now 20. That is why we call this a variable. I can use the same value and assign multiple values, same variable and assign multiple values. So what happens? The latest value remains and the previous value gets deleted. That means it's taken out of the memory. Yeah. Hello? Go ahead.
Yeah, when you kept the breakpoint in third line, doesn't it execute, Rajesh?
So it doesn't execute the third line. It will come and stop at the third line.
Oh, okay. So it starts executing from the fifth line, from the next.
What I did in order to execute from the fifth line, see, I wanted only this piece of code to run. I don't want these two pieces of code to run, right?
Yes, yes.
So what I did, I kept my pointer. You see the pointer is blinking?
Yes, yes.
On line number 5, right click on line number 5.
Okay.
You will see run from step.
Okay.
When you click on that, it will run from that particular step towards the end of the file. So I don't want it to run fast. I want to run line by line. So I put a breakpoint again after that line. So it executed this line and came and stopped here.
Okay.
Got me?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Everyone understood what is a variable? What do you mean by a variable? The variable is a value that a variable can accept multiple values, but it will retain only one value at a time. So it will retain the latest value. So here A is equal to 10 and then we assigned A equal to 20. So the latest value is 20. So it retained the latest value as 20. Any questions till now? Any questions till now? Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take value of A and this I'm going to put as value as B. So now I want to sum these two values. So I'll say message box of B. So let me take off all these spaces. Uh-oh. And then I'm going to say MSG box A plus B. Now let's run this. I want to run from the step. Done. So now the variable of A is 10, function F11, function F11. Now you see the variable B is assigned as 20. So I'll get a pop-up message saying 20. Now I'm going to sum up A plus B. So A plus B would be 30. So what I did, I just put A plus B. Guys, you are able to understand this? Are you guys able to understand this? Any questions? Yep.
Rajesh, how you are getting the result sheet? Do you press anything like it's showing that A is equal to 10, B equal to 20?
Which result sheet? Which result sheet?
Like when you execute that, when you press function F11, you can see the result, right?
Yeah.
Beneath.
This one.
Yeah. Will it be?
I told you, right? In the beginning of the class, go to view and enable these three. You didn't listen to that?
Actually, I missed that. Okay.
Okay, debug viewer, resources, and test flow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rajesh, in this case, when we are adding A and B, is it necessary to write line 6 and 8?
No, not necessary at all. I'm just showing you. I put this because I'm just showing you the value. So let me comment this. Okay, so I'm going to take a breakpoint out of this, and then I'm going to put a breakpoint here. Run from step. You see?
Yes.
You don't need. This is just to see. We use a message box just to see what is the value that we have assigned. Is it right? What is the output of that particular value?
Okay.
You agree?
Yes. Yes, right.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
When you click the right click, you select something just run from step, right?
Yeah.
So wherever you put the cursor, it starts from that step. That means
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Wherever I keep the cursor. So example, I keep the cursor in 3. And then right click, it will execute from line number 3.
Oh, so that cursor, you don't have to keep it end of the line or the starting of the line.
No.
Anywhere.
Wherever. I can even keep the cursor here and right click and say run from step. It will execute from the starting of that line.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, you have a doubt?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So you are not now able to understand how to print the value A plus B. Now imagine I wanted to print, say here it just prints 30. Now I wanted to print saying that, put a message box, the value of A and B is equal to 30. I want to print like that. So that is MSG box. Here I'm going to print saying I'm going to put whatever I want to print, I will print it inside this. So I'll say the result is, and then I will say A plus B. Now what will happen? Will this print? Let's see whether it's working. Then we'll do the next step. It will fail. Why? Because it is not able to understand what is this. So now this is one step. This is one string and this is another string, another value that it has to print. How do you merge these two? How you wanted to tell QTP that this has to be printed in a single line. But these are two different things. I want you to print as it is like this and bring the value here. Now when you have two separate statements and you want to join those two statements, you have something called concatenation. Concatenation. What do you mean by concatenation? Concatenation is two separate strings. Concatenation means joining two separate strings. Example, I can say A equal to my name is, B equal to Rajesh. Now these are two separate strings. Okay, these are two separate strings. I want to print it like this. I want to print it as my name is Rajesh. I want to print it like this. How do I do that? That is, I wanted to join these two strings and print it in a single line. So this is a separate string, this is a separate string, right? So when I join, I use a concatenation, and concatenation symbol is ampersand. That is what and symbol is, the concatenation symbol. So in order for me to print this, I will put a concatenation here. Now let's see whether it works. You see? That is printing this line. Now let's run the next one. Okay. You see? The result is 30. Let's do one more string concatenation. String concatenation, say example, I'm saying A equal to my name is, and, or let's see like this. My best student in class is, or let's see. Give me a name. Volunteered and said that she wants to put her name. Okay. Now, if I want to concatenate this, how do I do that? Can you give me? Tell me, how do I do that?
Yeah, MSG box.
MSG box.
The result is, no. A ampersand B.
A ampersand
B.
B. Perfect. Let's run this. Got it? My best student in class is Shamili. You got it?
Yes.
Perfect.
Rajesh, my doubt is actually when we are running line 5, so if there is a syntactical error in 11, do we get an error when we try to execute it? When we run it?
Yes. It will not allow you to run. Say example, you remove this ampersand. And you want to run from, say, line number this.
Actually, we are running line by line, right? So, does it really...
No, what it does is, first it will compile the whole code.
Okay.
It's not going to compile. There are two things. Okay. Let me explain that. When you click on the run, what happens at the back end? When you hit the run, two things happen. One, compile and then execute. Now compile, what it does, it checks for error.
Yeah.
That is errors that are related to code, not logic.
Okay.
You cannot identify logical errors. Say example, you wanted to say in one place MSG box, you put like this, the result A plus B. Now, it can identify that what is message box. It can identify. Then it sees a double quote. That means you want to print the whole thing here.
Yeah.
Then it sees a space and two values here.
Okay.
Now it doesn't know what to do with these two.
Okay.
1 and 2. It doesn't know. So it will print a error message for you.
Okay.
Right. Now when I'm writing a loop, I'm saying A equal to 10, B equal to 20, and I wanted to put a division of A and B.
Okay.
Or B divided by A. Now you mistakenly, instead of putting division, you put off plus.
Okay.
It cannot find these type of errors.
Yeah.
It can only find code related errors.
Syntactical errors.
Syntactical errors.
Okay. And also, I forgot to ask. Okay. I'll ask you again. I forgot about.
Okay. So now, coming back into our QTP, you guys able to understand this, right? So next, here, whatever we have seen here, right? Whatever we have seen here, we don't know. Wait, hold on. Let me put this concatenation here. We started using concatenation here, right? So I'll say concatenation. Okay. Now, if I don't know, I don't want, say example, I'm putting A plus B, this one. Now, I want to calculate, I wanted to create a program. Okay. Create a program. Yes.
Rakesh, when we compile it, does it really say where the error is? The line of the where the
yes, yes, but it would not very accurately. To say example, this is an error, right? Now I'm going to run from say here. It should give me a compilation error now. It will not execute. You see, what does it say? End of statement, message box, the result is A and B.
Oh, okay.
So you know this is the line where the error is.
Yeah.
It cannot say what is the error.
Okay, got it.
Got it? This is what you are looking for?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah?
I'm not understanding where the error is, Rajesh, in this line.
In this line, right?
I'm not seeing that. Can you? Yeah, okay. 11.
You got it?
Yeah.
Or you got what the error is?
I think that because you have the quote in before it, correct?
No.
No.
Message box, when you put like this, it knows it has to print whatever is here.
Right.
Now when you put a quote here, that means it's going to print whatever you put it in the double quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Now it sees that there is a space and then A plus B.
Right.
So it's not able to understand what is this now.
Okay.
It's able to understand what is this, but it doesn't know what is this.
Right.
Because it's seen two different strings, but it doesn't know whether should I print it together, print it separate, it doesn't know. So it's throwing an error.
Okay.
So now you got to tell, print it together.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I'm combining these two strings, you see, concatenation.
Okay, and then it'll take 5 and 7 along with what you have 11 to understand that the result is 30. Right?
Yes. Okay. Now it knows that this is string 1, this is string 2, and you have to print together.
Okay. And that even if it has a breakpoint, that still is like at 7 you have the breakpoint, that shouldn't make a difference, right?
Breakpoint is for you to debug the code.
Okay.
Nothing related with the script.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's put outside. You see here?
Right. So it's not into what you're writing.
Yes, it is put outside.
Mm-hmm.
Understood. It's nothing related to the script. It is related to how the way it's going to execute it.
Hence, you put it before the quote, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Getting me?
Yeah, I got that now. I understand now.
Okay. Next, what we are going to see is, here we are seeing that we are giving the value of A, as 10 and B as 20, right? So I want to create a program where the variable should be an input value. That means I want to provide my own value rather than hard coding this value into the script. How do I do that? So I'm not going to put A equal to 10. Say I wanted to check what is the sum of 30 and 40. What is the sum of 50 and 60? Every time I'm not going to go into my script and change this particular value. How do I do that? So what is this case? I want my script to ask me what is the value of A, what is the value of B, and then sum and tell me the output. Guys, you are able to understand what I'm trying to explain? Anyone has a question on this You guys are able to understand what I'm trying to explain? Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a function called input. So I'll say input input box, and in the bracket I'll put, see what it's asking first, prompt, what it should prompt. So I will say enter value of A. So that's what it's going to prompt and ask me. What is the title? Title, I would say sum of two numbers. Next, what it's asking, comma, default value. I need not provide all these things, default value, X position, Y position, help file, all those things are not necessary. So I'll just say close my bracket. So now this value, this will print me a message box. Let's run only this. You see here, this is going to print me a, what happened? Okay. Now what happened is this is used when you are assigning. So currently I don't need to put this. Okay. So when I'm just running it, I'll tell you why we put that bracket. Run from this step. You see this? It's prompting me here. What is the prompt? Enter value of A. See here, it's come enter the value of A. What is the title? Sum of two numbers. Here is the title, sum of two numbers. So this is the prompt. We see here. This is the prompt that we put here. Is here, and the title is here. This is the title, and this is the prompt. Here is where we are going to enter the value. Guys, you are able to understand this? Now when I put the value here, I'm saying I'm going to put the value as 6. Okay. Now what happens? What happened? The script got ended, right? Now where am I going to put the value? I have popped up an input box where I am saying that the value is 6. Now what should I do next? How do I take this value? Can anyone tell me? Any guess? What should I do? How do I take the value of A? Any guess? Any guess? Any guess? No one? I have to assign it into a variable, right? Unless and until you assign it into a variable, you will not be able to. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. Unless you assign it into a variable, you cannot use this value. Correct, sir? I'm popping up an input box and I'm going to put a value there inside the input box. Correct?
Yes.
Now I have to assign this into a variable for using that value in my script. You understood that?
Yes, yes.
So how do I assign it into a variable?
That is for the.
So I'll say example, I'll use another value, C equal to, correct?
Yes.
At this time, you have to put it in a bracket.
Bracket. Okay.
Now, if I print message box C, it will give me that value. Let's see. Run from this step. Now it's asking me what is the value of A or C. Okay, fine. What is the value of A? I will put say 89. Okay. You see? You got the value? So anything that you want to enter into the script during the runtime, you have to assign it into a variable.
Okay.
You getting me?
Yes.
Any other questions, guys? Aji.
Rajesh, can you go to the 21 line?
Aji.
Yeah. So 22. So the create program whether the variable should be input value means it has to ask you what input value we have to enter, right?
Correct.
So then what is A and B values there in 19 and 20?
Those are hard-coded values. So here, when I execute, it will only add 10 and 20. The next time when I execute, I wanted to add 50 and 60. Every time am I going to go and change in the script? No, I'm not going to go and change the code every time, right? It should be dynamic. The code should ask me what value you want to sum.
Yes, but still you have to, you need to take a value there in 19 and 20.
No need. I did not execute 19 and 20, right?
Yeah, but that's when, so do we really need to write the 19 and 20?
No need.
Yeah, that's where.
So I'm going to execute from here, line number 20. You see, it's asking for what is the value of, say, example C. Okay. Think this as C because I didn't change it here. No? So I'm saying, tell me a value.
20.
20. Okay. You see? It went at 20. Getting it?
Okay. Yes. Yeah, but for the when you wrote when you have written 19 and 20 as A and B, you have given some values, right? So I was thinking that do we really need to take those or not?
I don't want to put those values in the script as hard-coded values.
Yes.
Now I'll put the same code and I will say, so I'll say here A and here B. Okay, I'm going to give say 50. I'm going to give 26. I have to give 76. Why am I getting this? Can anyone tell me? 50, 26. Why am I getting this? Because whatever value I enter in the input string, right? This is an input string, right? Is a string. So let me talk about what is the data types. Give me 1 second, guys. So let me talk about this. I'll come back to you. Now, data types. Now, what happens is that if I put a value, say example, my name is Rajesh, right? It's a sentence, right? So if I say A equal to my name is Rajesh, this is a sentence. So this is what you call string. Now if I put A equal to 10, that means it becomes a integer. Now, can I add two strings or can I add only integers? When I'm saying A plus B, can I add string or only integers? Yeah?
Yeah, we can add only integers.
We can add only integers. You cannot add a string. For string, we use concatenation. Right? To join two strings, we use concatenation. Right? Now, what is happening in the code? This input that I am getting is coming in as a string. This input that I am getting as B is also coming as a string. So what it's doing, it is just printing these two strings. That's all.
Okay.
So now how do I convert this into an integer? So I have to convert this into an integer, right? So I will say int and I put it in bracket here. So now whatever value that comes inside this input box will be converted into an integer using the function int. Now if I run this, you will see. It's asking for the first value. So I will give 50 again, same thing. Second value I'm going to give 26. Enter. You got 76 because we converted the string into an integer. Yeah, what's your question actually?
I thought like sum of two numbers means we don't have to assign two numbers. It's just a string, right?
It's just a string.
Okay. But we are entering value of A. When is the sum of two numbers coming? When you are executing that, when you execute that.
Here is the code, right? To sum.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Instead of me writing like this, C equal to A plus B, sorry, A plus B, and putting a message box C, right?
Yeah.
This is what you are expecting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I just put this directly here.
Okay.
I just directly put this here.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
No, Rajesh, so do we have to put that, I see that you put the double brackets at the end. That's how we have to do it, or it's just a mistake?
No, you are saying this is one set of code and this is another function, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it will execute the inner first. That's why you got the message box.
Oh, okay.
And then it's executing the outer.
Okay.
The value that's come in the message box, it will convert into an integer and assign it into B. You got it? You getting?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yes, I got that. Because it's the two different subjects, so integer and also input box and all the other codes are inside the brackets. Okay.
Correct. Yeah?
So Rajesh, the data type of input box is always a string?
Yes, when you are entering something value into an input box, it will consider that value, whatever value, as a string.
Okay.
We have to convert that string and we have to tell the code that is not a string, it's an integer.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
Any other questions? Yeah? Have a question?
So this integer means it has to be something in letters, some names or something like that. It's not numbers.
Numbers. String means
integer is numbers.
Yeah. String can be alphanumerical.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Rajesh.
Any other questions, guys? Okay. Next, what we are going to see is big string. Say example, I have a paragraph. Say, let's copy a paragraph from a website. Yeah, you have a question?
Yeah, could you just run the string you had, or from 20 to 23? I just wanted to see what it comes up as.
Okay, I'm running 20.
Okay.
Okay, give me a number.
20.
What?
20?
No number?
15. Okay.
35?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so I'm going to take a big string. So I'm going to go to my, say, testing fundamentals. Okay, I'm going to copy this string, the first paragraph. Okay, and I'm going to say, I'm going to assign it as a value. I'm saying big equal to, I'm going to put this into a string. Now the string is so big that I have to scroll left and right in order to read it, right? It's a big line. I cannot read it in a single view. So how do I bring it inside the view? How do I bring it inside a single view, right? I have to tell the script that when I hit an enter, you see, automatically when it is a string, it's in a different color. But when you hit enter, it changes color because it thinks it's a new line. Now you have to tell the script that it's a continuation. How do I say that? I will put a colon here, double quote here to close this line, and then I will say and underscore. So that is ampersand underscore. So this means that it's a continuation of the next line. So I'll move this here. I will put it as open. Again, it's a big string, so I want to cut it here. So I'll say colon ampersand underscore. Again, it's a big line. Okay, fine. Finally we have come to the end of the line, and the end of the line we close it like this. Guys, you are able to understand? You are able to understand? How did I continue my second line? Now if I print this, now I don't want this pop-up to come. I want my code to execute, and I want to have a separate output window that can show me the messages. I don't like this pop-up. So what I'll do, instead of message box, I will use print. Print, I will say big. That's the variable I want to print. So let me run this. Here you will see you won't get a pop-up. You will get another window coming up that will have the output. See, the script is completed and here is your output. Now the output, right, we cut this into different strings, but if you see the output, it is going as still as a single string. Now you want the output to be in the next line as you have cut. How do you do that? Very simple. Along with this, it's only for your script, not for your output. So it again comes in your output like this. You see this? Now in your output, if you want it to go to the next line, right? What you need to do before the and underscore, put and VBCRLF. Now if I run this, you see, and a space, and then you have the and underscore, right?
Underscore. Okay.
Now if you run this, what will happen? Only one line will be entered. see here?
Okay, I got it.
After arrest, it went to the next line, but it printed the rest of the things in the single line. Got it?
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Rajesh.
Yeah. So every line put a VBCLRF. It will hit enter in every line. Yeah.
So what is the difference between print and a message box?
Okay. Now difference between, I'm going to say that next. Okay. Now the difference between print and message box is, let's see this. I'm going to print the same thing here. Okay. I'm going to put MSG box BIG. Okay. Now you will see the difference. Let me clean this up. Okay. Now it printed this line, correct?
Okay.
Now what is happening? The script is still running. It's waiting for your input to click OK to go to the next line.
Okay.
But if I see, when I click OK, you see when this print gets executed. Did it ask an human intervention?
Mm-hmm.
It directly printed in this output box.
Okay.
So when you are working with your scripts and you wanted to capture some value and check whether the value is coming correct, you can't print a message box. What happens? The code will stop there till you click OK. How long ever? Even you leave it the whole night, the script will stop there till you click OK to go to the next line.
Okay.
Right? That we don't want that human intervention, right? When you are running your script.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's why we use print.
Okay.
But if you see here, message box is in blue, but bolted. Print is not in blue, but you see here, print is in blue, but not bolted.
Yeah.
Did you notice this?
Yes.
Because if anything, any function that you use and it's bolted, right? It's in bold.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's a VBScript command.
Oh, okay.
If you see print is not it's not in bold, right? That means it's a QTP command. QTP function. You cannot use print in when you are doing this same in the notepad. You cannot use print.
Okay, got it.
Because VBScript will not recognize that.
Okay.
But when you use it in QTP, they have written the code for print.
Okay.
So when you use print function, it will automatically recognize that.
That's a tool functionality.
That's a tool functionality.
Okay.
Getting me?
Oh yeah.
Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Okay. So you understood till this point, right?
Rajesh, can you please say that again, the difference between message box and print?
See the message box, what happens when I run this? When I run this, message box pops up like this. You see this?
Yeah.
But now I'm going to leave it as it is. You see the code is still running. The script is still running. Can you see here down?
Yeah.
It will not go to the next line till you click OK.
Okay.
Right now when you're writing your script and you're going to execute your test cases, if you put a message box and you forget you put a message box and you run it overnight,
it's not going to change.
It's not going to run, right? It's after the message box pops up, it's going to stop there.
It waits. Yeah. Okay.
It waits. See, it's still waiting till I click OK. But if you see print, it's not going to wait. It will print and go to the next line. You see, it printed and it printed the output here.
Okay.
But it didn't wait for me to go and click any OK button, right?
Yes. So you said this print is QTP function?
Yes. Anything that is bold. See here, this is bold, right? That is a VBScript function.
Okay.
If it's not bold, it's a QTP function.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Raj.
Got it?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. Last thing today what we are going to see is loops. Now in loops, or say let's see condition. We are going to see conditions. Tomorrow we'll see loop. So condition, what does mean the condition? Say example.
Condition is if you do if you do something and then the other thing will happen. You put a condition on some, like if A is greater than B, then do this, or if A is equal to B or something like that.
Correct. Say example in our class only. If you raise your hand.
Okay.
That's one condition.
Right.
What should I do?
Then
so I'll say
unmute.
Then unmute, else give -1.
Okay.
So only one thing it can do in a condition. Either or.
Okay.
Okay. Say example, if you go to you want to buy a chaat masala. You have two companies. Now you're not going to take two different companies. You need only one packet. So you need to choose depending upon a condition, right? Say example, you like one masala. You have used it. So you choose that.
Okay.
So you have either or condition. That is only one condition can be true.
That is true, right.
The other should be false. Say for example, if I am saying simple, A equal to 10. Okay. So here I am going to say if, when I click if and then a space, automatically the full code comes up. Okay. If A is greater than 10, I'll say then what you want me to do?
Then
I'll say print. Or say instead of this, I'll use message box. The box, message box. I'll say the value of A of, I want to print the value of A. So I'll say, how do I put the value of A here?
You just.
How do I join two strings?
And.
Concatenate.
Yeah.
You have to use the term. Don't say and. Say concatenation. Okay. Concatenate A. Then I wanted to say another one. So I'll say again concatenate.
Okay.
Is GREA greater than
10. Okay.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
Else MSD box would copy the same thing. Put it here.
It's less than 10.
Less than 10. Now, when this code gets executed, now I am assigning the value of A as 10.
Okay.
Now it will come here. How does it execute? Let's see how it executes. First we will write down the logic, right? So when you come here, so first it comes to this line, right? It comes to this line. What am I doing? It comes to this line and then assigns the value of A is equal to 10. Then it comes to this line. If A is greater than 10, is A greater than 10?
No.
No. So that means this condition is not satisfied, correct? This condition is not satisfied, correct? Only this condition is satisfied, go into this loop. Else,
Go to this one.
go to this. So now let's run this and see deep in debug mode. Let's run this line by line and see what happens. Okay. Function F11. I'll say okay. What happened? I should have run from this particular step. I'll say step, run from this step. Okay. So now A value is 10. Now let me run this. You see? It jumped from this step directly to else loop because A's value is
10. It's
less than 10.
less than.
So it came into this particular loop. Now it will print this loop. Print this particular condition. See?
Okay.
The value of 10 is less than 10. I just put it as instead of A.
Right.
Yeah, it's printing the value of A. Right?
Yeah.
You're getting me?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do we write in case of print statement? Print. Ampersand.
This only, right? That's all.
Oh.
Just replace message box with print.
Oh.
Now when you run it, it will not pop up. Let's clean this log. It will not wait for your response. It will just finish the code.
Okay.
You put a breakpoint, so it's waiting there.
Oh.
You see?
Oh, okay.
Same thing. Got it?
Yes, yes.